Hello everyone, welcome to the Grassroots Football Project. This is the show where we like to talk about the issues in grassroots football and also share some interesting stories from some of the most dedicated individuals within the industry. Today I've got the one and only Mr. Kevin Burrows. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
Really, I'm good, all right. I'm coping, I suppose, coping as much as we can. How you been ticking over during lockdown? Have you been keeping yourself busy and stuff like that?
Yeah, keeping myself busy, trying to do much exercise with the boys as possible.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do in the garden and logging bike rides, but can't really go out and play football and stuff. So just the exercise, really try and keep them fit for when the season restarts.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I think that's positive. I think most people are trying to do that, which is really good. But it's great to have you on the show. Could you just give everyone that's watching a bit of insight as to what you do right now in terms of in the grassroots football world?
Yeah, so I'm currently a manager at Danton, under 14 Reds. I've been managing nine years now. Yeah, 9 years.
Yeah. Started
off at Crayford Arrows. I was there for 8 years, and then moved over to Danton this year. It's tough.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of your time, a lot of your home time as well with organising stuff. But I do it for the love. I do it for the one, my son, and two, his friends. Because if I didn't do it, let's be honest, who knows where some of them would be.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. I think a lot of managers getting into it for that reason. A lot of them don't, but that's a really positive reason to get into it. Right, first I want to talk about like your football background. So, like, really, what's the earliest memories of football that you can remember? Like, what got you into it?
Well, my earliest memory of football is probably the one that stands out. It's probably Euro '96.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like Gaza, Shearer, Sheringham.
Yeah.
I just always loved football. Where I originally lived before I moved around here, didn't really have a lot of grassroots football. So I just played football with my brother and his friends and stuff until I moved around the area and joined a team with my friends. I just done it. It wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
But I done it because I enjoyed football and ended up spending time with my mates.
Oh, brilliant. And so you talk about like not really having much grassroots football. What was it kind of like then compared to now? Not, like no training really, or how does it compare?
There was just no space where I lived. I lived in Battersea, so there weren't really big grass areas and stuff. So there weren't really sports centres that you can go and play in on a midweek or on a Saturday and stuff like that. But nothing to what it is now. It's changed so much just over the last 10 years that I've been managing, really. The change in grassroots football is massive. And it's only going to get bigger and better. Yeah,
no, that's good. That's a nice insight, really, because obviously being of a younger generation, you don't really hear about stuff like that.
No.
So in terms of like teams, who would you go to, you supporting?
I'm a Chelsea fan, so originally lived in Battersea, which was right across the water.
Yeah.
The River Thames from Chelsea, so they were my local. So
were they just your local, or did your dad support them, or whatever?
My granddad was a Chelsea fan. My nan was Fulham, so they were the two locals. So I used to go Chelsea one week, and then I used to go Fulham the other week because they could never play on the same weekend at home.
Oh, right, yeah.
So for the whole of the season, I used to go Chelsea, Fulham. Oh, so I used to see the top end of football, and then
hopefully there's no Fulham fans watching. So when coming on to you joining a team and stuff like that, can you remember the first sort of manager you had or coach?
Oh, do you know what? I can't remember. I'm useless with names.
Yeah.
But it was about 7 or 8 of my mates that joined this team, and that they had a group of mates as well. And it weren't a club. I think we used to just hire the pitch in Northumberland Heath, which was Bexley Royals, and we used to just play football because we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And we had a bit of success, not winning trophies, but I was enjoying it. So the success weren't the top of my priority, to be honest with you. I just enjoy playing football.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, that's
time
really good.
mates.
So, like you talk about that, you don't obviously can't remember your manager or whatever, but was there anyone there that sort of like progressed you or help you guys to get a bit better, or did you literally just a bunch of lads come together and just have a football game?
Yeah, bunch of lads come together, and a few of them. We used to play five-a-side football at Crook Log. I used to play five-a-side football with a few of them, and they were playing for the team. So I went there, and then like my best mate's granddad used to take us home and away training because he used to just love football, and he was the one who used to push us on to try and achieve the best we could.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's good that you had that sort of role model.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, you had a great, excuse me, had a vast, footballing childhood. From the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Coming into coaching now, what got you into that? I know you spoke about it briefly earlier, but if you just want to.
Yeah, well, my son used to train at Phoenix. Yeah, he started at Phoenix. He didn't really enjoy it, so he had a couple of friends at Crayford Arrows. He decided to go down there. I used to work on the weekends, so his mum used to take him. And it come to that time at the end of the soccer school where a dad or a mum had to step forward to take the team on into the leagues.
Yeah.
So it's something I've always wanted to do, and it was my time. No dad wanted to do it because it is a massive commitment, which is what I found out the last 10 years. So a dad approached me and said he'd help me coach and be an assistant if I'll be the front of the team. And 10 years later, I'm still here.
Oh, no, that's really good. So just going back on like the moment that you sort of stepped up and took on the team, how did that sort of feel? Because there'll be a lot of dads watching that, watch their son or daughter play, and then they'll get asked to take on the team and be the coach. What did that feel like? Was they, would you worried? Was you a bit nervous? How was you feeling?
I was worried. I was scared because you're taking, how should I say it, like role model for the young kids now.
Yeah.
And I was still only young as well when I took the team over, where some of the dads were a lot older and have played a better standard of football. Some of them still played, but just didn't not have the courage to take it on. But it's the time and the dedication, and I had it to give.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But like you see it a lot of dads like unsure if they step up to the plate, but it's good to see that a lot of them do, and that's how these grassroots teams keep on surviving.
Of course it is. If I didn't step up, no one would have stepped up, and then it would have been my son without a football team. So
yeah,
I'm not going to lie. It was the main reason I stepped up was for my son, and if any other manager says different, I won't believe him. It's you do it for your son at first.
Yeah.
To keep him happy and he can play football, which is what he wants to do. All young, when I took him over, all 5 and 6 year olds want to grow up to be professional football players. And if no one steps up, they're not going to fulfil their dreams that some of them do that want to do that.
Platform, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's really good, mate. Honestly, you hear a lot of stories like that, but it's good to hear it from you, a close friend. Right, so 10 years on, like you said.
Yeah.
How are you still finding that motivation now? What keeps you ticking over and thinking, you know what, because life must get busier and busier year by year. How do you keep that motivation?
It gets busier and busier, and I get more tired the year I get older.
Yeah.
I never had grey hair before I started coaching, and I've got plenty of it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I get to the end of every season and I think to myself, do you know what? I can't wait to have a break. Can't wait to have a bit of time off because you dedicate, like, you train midweek, some train Saturday, you play Sundays, and then it's all the phone calls, the messages to the parents and sorting other bits and bobs out. So it is tiring, but do you know what? A week into the summer, I can't wait to get back.
Yeah.
I have a week off and I'm like, right, that's it. I'm ready to go back. And you just miss it so much.
Yeah.
Next, being away from it is what makes you want to go back even more.
Yeah. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
As they say that, yes, mate. Yeah. So you just want to go back and start again.
So, like in the current situation that we find ourselves in now, is the same sort of feeling there? Are you missing it more
Do you
than
know
ever?
what? I'm missing it more than ever now.
Yeah.
The fact that I know that we could go out and play because the season should still be on, where this virus has taken, well, it's changed everyone's lives, not just here in England, but around the world.
Yeah.
So we're in the same boat as everyone else, and we just got to ride it out. That's all we can do. Is, like I said, I'm keeping my son fit. Yourselves giving the players training programs to keep themselves fit with. That's all I can do. And when it's time to come back, we'll be ready.
No, it's brilliant. We can only do our best during such difficult times, and you just want to keep in contact with them and make sure they don't, go to town on the pies and all that, and come back all slow and lethargic. But no, that's good. So we'll come on to more about the current climate that we find ourselves in. But I want to talk a bit more about sort of your time at Crayford Arrows. Any fond memories that you can think of that you just thought, you know what, all these coaches that are watching, I just want to get my story out for, like, this was a great experience.
You know what? I had 8 great years at Crayford Arrows. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
They were superb. We had the ups and downs, which is what everyone does.
Yeah, of course.
But I built friendships, lifelong friendships from Crayford Arrows, not with myself, but with my son as well now. Like, I have boys that don't play for the team anymore, but he's still best mates with a lot of them, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
We had some, it was tough, don't get me wrong, but we stayed together, and we had some successful years at Crayford Arrows. Some very, very successful years at Crayford Arrows.
Well, that's good. And is there anything that sticks out, sort of one memory you think, you know what, I'm so proud of that. I can't believe we accomplished that? Or,
you know what, we entered a tournament one year at Crayford Arrows, a home tournament, and we asked to play up an age group because a team pulled out. So I said to my players, do you want to enter it? And they all said yes. And do you know what? I said to the boys, right, you can pick all your positions you want. I said, we're playing a year up. Let's just go out there and have fun. We ended up getting to the final.
Yeah.
We knocked out 3 Crayford Arrows teams on the way to the final, all on penalties. And there must have been at least 100 people standing behind, cheering us on in that final because they knew we was a year younger. And we lost 1-0 to an A-League team that was a year above.
Yeah.
And that just in itself, I had my centre-back playing in goal. I had my goalkeeper playing right midfield, just for them to enjoy it and see how it feels for them in them positions.
Yeah.
Because you get kids who moan about, oh, we shouldn't play there. So give them that opportunity. And then when it comes to them going in there back in their normal positions, they know how it feels.
Yeah.
And so we got to the final, lost 1-0, when the manager of the opposition team come up to me and said, you give us the hardest game of the day. And then I told him that we was a year younger, and he couldn't believe it. So that's one.
No, I tell you what, I think that's such a good talking point there. I mean, that sort of strategy of putting them a year up and the whole day itself. I mean, you can already tell physically that's going to develop them massively. Socially, from the hundreds of people that's out and supporting that team. So it must have done wonders for their development. How do you think, like, how would you feel and how was they feeling when you got to that final?
Do you know what? We always said to them at every game, go out there and enjoy it. That was it. That's all I wanted them to do, go out there and enjoy it. We'd win a game and they'd be buzzing because obviously they're playing kids a year older. And some of the kids are a lot bigger than what my players were. And so I said to them to go out there with no fear. And every game they won, their confidence grew and grew and grew. And by the end of it, considering they lost, they were absolutely over the moon.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's brilliant. That's a great story to hear. spoke about Crayford Arrows, a lot of fond memories there, and lots of ups and downs. And now you find yourself at Danson Sports. How much of a difference is it between the two clubs, and did it affect the players in any way, changing teams?
Do you know, it was a massive difference. Crayford Arrows is a great club, and I wouldn't say anything bad against them. It's the size of the club, where Crayford Arrows tried to keep it to a certain amount of numbers per age group, where Danton is so much bigger in capacity of players and teams. There's no comparison between the two of them. So I knew a lot of people at Danton, so it was just time to change. I asked my players if they wanted to come, and they all said to me, yeah, wherever you go, we go. We're a team. So apart from the players that left to go and play Kent Youth, which is a standard higher than what we was playing,
yeah,
off we went to Danton and found ourselves still together with new additions within the team.
Oh no, that's good. So mentally, don't think it affected them too much. They just wanted to get out there and play. Didn't matter where they was.
No, for three of the boys that were with me, they've been with me since they were 5. So for them, it was more of a jump than some of the other players that have been with me maybe 3 or 4 years. So it was a massive change for them players. And it did take them a little while to get used to, because all they'd known their whole footballing career was Crayford Arrows. So yeah, it took them time, but they're happy and they're thriving. So that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, it's the main thing. So you made that transition. You've now had a season, well, 3/4 of a season at Danson. How do you think the season's gone so far?
We had pre-season, which was a mixed bag, if I'm honest. I had 7 or 8 new players join the team. So it's going to take time for them to gel. So pre-season was up and down. And then once the season started, there was just no stopping us.
Mm.
We was winning games with ease, and we weren't even playing at their top level. And considering they knew each other, but they'd never played, they were superb. Lost a couple of games. We lost 2 games, well, out of the season we was allowed to play, to the team that are very, very good. We currently sit top, but with them having games in hand, we would have been finished second. And I always said at the start of the season, if we finish in the top 2, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
And that looks like where we finished, depending on what Sel Kent decide to do with the leagues.
Yeah. So just a bit of clarity for the viewers at home. They're under 14s right now, aren't they? Your boys.
Yeah, under 14s right now. Yeah. Started under 6s and still going under 14s.
So them 13, 14-year-olds, they've had a very good season. I've seen them close up. They're playing some amazing stuff. But how do you think that affects them mentally? The fact that they're winning every game, and obviously a few losses here and there, and they're quite high in the table. Are they looking at that and taking sort of like they're sort of thinking, this is what we are. We're a great team that keeps winning, or are they thinking, oh, we're looking to improve, but it's good that we are winning? How do they sort of take that?
Well, me and my assistant, before every training session, we used to speak to them about the weekend's games.
Yeah.
And the one most important thing we was telling them about was complacency. Because we're playing the team down the bottom, don't mean it's going to be an easy game, because every game's going to be hard. Because when you're at the top of the table, that team down at the bottom table so desperately wants to beat you to have the scalp of the team at the top.
Yeah.
We had to take every single game with the same attitude, which is what they done really well, which was what I was most proud about. That we went into every game with the same mentality as if we was playing any other team.
So, in your opinion, what do you think is more beneficial, sort of taking that sort of strategy of each game by it comes and having the attitude that, everyone's going to be up for it? Or do you think being slightly maybe more of an underdog would help their development a lot better in their sort of psychological side of it?
Sometimes being an underdog, you have no pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
So where you're at the top, the pressure's on you. So it's the attitude where you should beat them. You're at the top, they're at the bottom, and it's just who handles the pressure the best, really.
Yeah.
So, and they handled it really well. Sometimes, do you want to go into the game as the favourite? No, you don't. You just want to go in on an evil playing field as the other team, and see who comes out the winner. Really, that's all you want to do.
Yeah, that's good. So, just to sort of round that up, how do you think, like in terms of the season, how do you think that's has it been a benefit to their development? Have you seen a big rise in their development, or have you sort of been a bit maintaining that level, or have they really improved? What, in your opinion?
From when we first started in pre-season, we've gone on leaps and bounds as a team and as individuals. I've looked at some players who thought they're going to do really well this season, and they haven't, if I'm honest. And the ones who I thought may struggle at the level have excelled. But yet I think that's to do with them playing all together. And I think when you have good players around you, it brings your ability on. And then they all play at the same level and same ability, which is a credit to them, credit to me, and a credit to the training that they get given by yourself and from Kev.
That's good to hear. That's positive. Okay, so we've spoken about sort of their journey and your journey, and obviously this season we're going to move on to something slightly more serious now. Obviously, current climate of the world we live in today, and it's quite dark. So, in terms of, because this is obviously a grassroots football podcast, how do you see the effects of COVID-19? How are they going to affect the season coming up, or the end of this season? What are your thoughts on it in terms of grassroots football?
What I'm more worried about is players being away from football for so long that when it does come around again and the boys can go out to play, the boys don't want to play anymore.
Right, yeah.
Because they haven't been out playing football. You fall out of love with it. And I've seen it numerous of times with teams and players and even managers. Like, managers get comfortable with not being there every week, and he starts to enjoy it. But it is what it is at the minute, and as long as I keep in contact with my players to keep them fit, that's all I can do at the minute. I can't go out and see them because of social distancing and stuff like that. So we've just got to keep our minds on it, keep fit, and when we can play again, we'll be ready to go.
Definitely, I think that's a good insight to how we can keep our players interactive and interested. Moving away from the players, more about the seasons itself and the leagues and structures. Do you see any sort of clear pathway as to how we can get back to normality?
No, I don't. If I'm honest,
yeah.
It's more for the Premier League, which is where the money is, and there hasn't really been a lot said about regarding grassroots.
Yeah,
it's all about the Premier League, which is the cream of the crop, which is what I totally understand. But it's them Premier League teams can't survive without these players from grassroots coming through.
Yeah, definitely.
So we need to try and think of a way for the FA to get the grassroots going again. I know we can't do it straight away, but there's talk of not even having a season next season.
Yeah.
Which is unthinkable, if I'm honest with you. Yes.
That is. It's very worrying to hear when stuff like that comes out. We've seen a lot in the media recently. Journalists attacking the Premier League and the big players in terms of the economic side, safety aspects. Do you think that the Premier League have more of a duty of care to sort of, sort of in a way, park their sort of journey and do more for the lower league teams and the grassroots establishments?
100%. The Premier League is a multi-million pound company, which is what it is. The Premier League is a company.
Yeah.
And the amount of money they get in from around the world, why shouldn't they help them the teams down in the lower leagues.
Yeah.
They're the ones who need the help. The likes of Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal, Tottenham, they've got owners who earn billions and billions of pounds that can survive without, say, not playing football for a season, where these teams down at the bottom, they can't. Well, look at Bury.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with COVID-19, and they folded this season, and Bolton was nearly behind them. Yeah. And at the minute, Southend's going that way. So you need a COVID-19 for teams to fold, and it's going to be 10 times worse for Grassroots.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Do you think we'll see an increase of sort of local teams and grassroots teams not going bust essentially, but maybe going on a bit of a downward spiral?
Yes, I do, and it's a shame really, because if you ain't at the elite level where you go to these pro clubs, the only way to play football is at grassroots, and they need somewhere to go. And if they don't, like I said, who knows what trouble they could get in if they ain't out doing something like an activity to keep themselves fit and off the streets, which is what we want them to do. Okay, so
put yourself in whoever's shoes, the top of the grassroots or the Prime Minister, whoever. If it was down to you, what would you like to see happen to sort of help resolve the grassroots season for next year? What changes and stuff would you implement to get it going again?
Obviously, we've got to wait until this is over with. There is no time frame on it. It isn't like we go 2 weeks, we'll be finished, we can go back. The most important thing is the safety factor. And as a manager, the safeguarding of the children is my number one priority. So if I personally feel it's not safe for them to go back, I will express my concerns. We've got to make sure it's safe for everyone to go back. So I know everyone wants to go back, but safety is the number one priority. And with the younger kids, the parents, they have to be safe.
So that's sort of, you touched on your opinion of what you'd like to happen and how you feel it should be played out. But in your honest opinion of how you've looked at it and everything, how do you think the league will go about the post-lockdown football season?
What, finishing this season?
Well, finishing or plans for next season. How do you think they're going to go about getting it back up and running again?
Well, I can't see any more football this season, if I'm honest. Like a lot of teams have made decisions on their leagues, i.e. none voided the league. Another one has taken the league as it is. A girls' league have done it on the points per game, so they have a finish to the season, and where some leagues just haven't said anything at all. So we're all in the dark of what's going on, but we've had details regarding next season, nothing, or not whether when it's going to start. They just want to know whether we're going to be carrying on, which is, I'd rather know what we're doing with the end of this season before we start planning for the next season. So you have to wait and see what all the leagues decide to do.
Good, okay. All right, finally. So just a little message to the viewers and the coaches that are going to be watching out there. Obviously, we spoke about it a little bit earlier. What can the coaches that are watching at home, what can they do to sort of interact their players and keep them interested and fit and healthy during this lockdown period?
Well, you're allowed to go out and exercise once a day. So maybe get them on a fitness regarding, like, I get my son to run 5K a day.
Yeah.
And he's trying to beat that time every day. And then after a week, he's going to try and up it.
Yeah.
To run a bit further and then try and beat that time. Just to keep that little bit of competitive edge with them as well, and to set them challenges. And that's really all we can do, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, Kevin, you've been a great guest. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
You know, such interesting stories. I'm sure the viewers that are watching or listening at home are going to take a lot of benefits out of what we spoke about tonight. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, like I said. And
yeah. All right. And we'll see you later. But everyone watching, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. There'll be plenty more where it's come from. And we'll get Kevin back on for more issues that we want to talk about on the show. But thanks a lot, and we'll see you later.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe.